Do we have another stock market crash knocking at the door and a Great Depression? Quite possibly. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody's doing great. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the percentage of likelihood that we could have another stock market crash. And I'm going to show you some things today that are hopefully going to help raise awareness, ring the bell, and sound the alarm and let people know that, in fact, yes, that is knocking at the door, but it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it. We've always had recession cycle throughout history like clockwork. 3 levels of an economic downturn, and if you've been with me for a while, you know what they are. Correction, recession, or depression. That's it. You get 3 levels. A deep cycle recession is a depressionary level of a downturn that we haven't seen in approximately 100 years since the Great Depression, the stock market crash of 1929. Before that, we had the Civil War, the Revolutionary War. We had a lot of things that ushered in depressions, and they were approximately 100 years apart. If you pull back the historical data, you will see that. Corrections, recessions, and in fact, depressions. And what are we in now? You guessed it, the 100-year depression cycle again. So if history is going to prove itself to be right again, we are in fact in depressionary risk right now. And I know a lot of economists out there are in fact predicting that's what's going to come. Now, for me, I would love to be wrong. I would love to have this be the first time in human history that we've escaped a depressionary level of a downturn. I lived through the Great Recession. I've never lived through a depression, either of you. Now, that's why I've always said, even as a real estate guy, I love real estate. And there's going to be there already is buying opportunity out there if you know where to look, and stay close to the show. If you're new, get subscribed. I do a lot of updates on real estate. Listen, friends, I mean, we lose real estate, we will lose the stock market simultaneously. We can lose the stock market, and we'll probably lose the real estate market in short order because people will start selling off their real estate. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath out there. It's just going to be really, really challenging. So for me, I always like I always say, is just expect the unexpected. It's better to be prepared for something and have it not happen than have something happen and not be prepared. But the reality is this: during stimulus, all that money, we doubled the amount of money in circulation. And where did it find itself? You guessed it, in the financial markets. It basically pumped them up with artificial values, real estate and stocks. Now, unfortunately, these markets have people stuck in them. And listen, like I said, I'm a real estate guy. I want a tangible asset, right? If you like, there's one channel I always watch, and he always says, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I like that. I'm with him on that one. I have a little bit of money in the stock market, a little bit in the money markets, some cash in the bank, but real estate's where I store most of my value, and I think you should as well. And I'm going to help you guys do that. Diversify. It's always been the rule of thumb in being financially fit, is to be diversified. Now, some of us are more comfortable in certain areas than others. But I will say this: 95% of all millionaires made their money in real estate. It's the path to wealth. We're going to hear from not only the biggest real estate mogul in the world, but the biggest stockholder in the world as well, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, biggest brokerage in the world, and he owns billions and probably trillions of dollars in assets and in stocks as well. He's selling off his stocks. And we know Bezos and Musk and all these other guys have been dumping stocks left and right on the hush, on the down low. But here's the thing. This is what happened in the Great Depression of 1929. Retail investors, the general public, started pouring into these markets. That's exactly what we saw during this crisis, during stimulus. We all had a bunch of extra money, and then all of a sudden these Weebles and Robin Hoods, these investment apps popped up, and we took our stimulus and started dumping it into these money markets, or and into the stock market, in companies that were trading way above their values. These things are pumped up artificially, just like real estate got pumped up artificially. It was a casino climate, a slot machine that continued to pay out. Unfortunately, in the casino world, this is what it ended up, casino climate, the house always wins. The house always wins. Timing the markets. That's what everybody tries to do. But you can't time these markets. I can tell you this, though. We have timed the top of the biggest housing bubble ever witnessed in human history. How do I know that? That's cool. It's easy. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. In the stock market, you're right there too. It can't tolerate any more growth because there's no more stimulus pumping in. So now we're flatlining at best. But here is the challenge, my friends. Most people are stuck in these markets. This is people's career path. Wall Street, they have to trade. That is their job, to trade. They can't pull out of these markets. They got to get people to pour into these markets. So we have a lot of people stuck in the markets, the retail investors. And this is challenging, my friends, because this is what led up to the Great Depression, the stock market crash of 1929. We have this clearly knocking on the door again. And all the heavy hitters are telling us that in black and white. Don't believe me? Let's jump over and see what Warren Buffett's up to. Then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has trimmed its stakes in some major companies, including Apple and Bank of America. Warren Buffett's investment success has grown Berkshire Hathaway's cash pile to a record $276.9 billion in the second quarter of 2024. It's no surprise then that people want to know what stocks the legendary 94-year-old investor known as the Oracle of Omaha is buying, and just as important, what he's getting rid of. As of June 30, Berkshire's top holdings are Apple, Bank of America, American Express, Coca-Cola, and Chevron. These are some of the biggest investing moves Buffett has made through his sprawling holding company so far this year. But wait, not so fast. It looks like he's starting to dump some. Berkshire halved its stake in Apple in the second quarter, holding $84.2 billion in the company's stock, down from the $174.3 billion it owned at the start of the year. The sale could cost Berkshire somewhere in the range of $15 billion in taxes alone this year. That's right. He's willing to take a $15 billion tax hit just to get out of these markets. Do you think he knows something we don't? Quite possibly. Let's get back to the studio and wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. And there you go. Warren Buffett, amongst many, they're dumping stocks. I mean, not just dumping a few, half their holdings gone. He's paying $15 billion in taxes this year he's sold off at the height. He is smart. Right now, I've tried to help people with their real estate. I've done this tons. A lot of you guys here, my subscribers, and thank me. I've gotten gift cards from you guys before, like, thank you so much, Scott. I sold my house at the height, and now these open borders, where I sold, these places are now war zones. I can't thank you enough that you got me out of this. It was more luck than skill. Like, I just said, hey, listen, this is a real estate bubble, and anytime the market exhibits bubble behavior, it's going to have crash risk. But like I said, when I opened up the show, this is political, economical, and social components all in play. The three-headed monster is, in fact, what we going on. This, I believe, makes 2008 look like a warm-up and rivaling 1929. The 1929 stock market crash. So many similarities rhyming with that one. Leading up to that, we had what? A lockdown, a Spanish flu, mask shut down businesses. The same exact thing, social distancing, all that. It's rhyming, but here it gets better or worse. I mean, this is where it gets challenging. Because some people, if we end up in another deep cycle recession, the dreaded depression, we'll have to turn on the war machine to dig ourselves out. Unfortunately, the war machine is a lot different today than it was in 1930s or whenever we turned it on the last time. I mean, now we have the button, right? We got the button. It's not going to be pretty. We have to hope and pray we stay out of this situation. My job is just to ring the bell, sound the alarm, let people know the biggest artificially induced bubble, stock or housing bubble, real estate bubble, is going to have some blowback. The dust will settle. We will pay the piper from overstimulating these markets. And here we go again. The heavy hitters are telling us, in fact, that's exactly what's going on. These markets are so pumped up artificially, and people now are stuck in there doing their best to squeeze a couple more dollars out of these markets, but it can't tolerate any more growth. We see now real estate flatlining at best. It's on life support. In fact, most of our 100 metros are now seeing a reverse course. Some areas are taking a massive bath. All these migration cities are now seeing their real estate values go sideways. We're seeing Wall Street sell out of the real estate market. We're seeing Warren Buffett sell out of the stock market. We're seeing it all play out in front of our eyes. Am I all alone here? Why is mainstream media not reporting on this? Well, of course, they can't. They can't. That's why you rely on shows like this to say, here's somebody saying the things that I've been thinking. This guy works in real estate. He owns real estate. He suffered blowback in 2008. I think I might trust this guy. Not the sharpest or smartest guy in the world. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. One thing I do know, you cannot buy experience. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. Shark infested. I would never suggest anybody do anything that I'm not doing or willing to do myself. Insulate yourself right now. Be conservative. Don't get stuck in these markets. Don't be all in on these markets. Make sure you diversify yourself the best of your ability. Do not, as much as I love real estate, do not be all in on real estate. Don't really care for stocks, but I'm in there too. Don't be heavy in these stocks. Get yourself into cash or cash flowing vehicles like real estate that are purchased properly. Your risk tolerance, you got to decide what your risk tolerance is. I personally would go ahead and buy properties right now in specific pockets where I can make properties cash flow as income properties. There's a few of them out there, but there's plenty that are not, where people poured in and are ultra exposed in these markets, not only the stock market, the real estate market as well. And that's why I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.